Carol, I mean, you're working directly with communities. What are challenges, or what's maybe the largest challenge you've seen, and how do you work to overcome that?
Well, it's always easier to do work by yourself and put your head down and just crank something out if you really want to just get something done. But it's almost never as good as when you have the benefit of people with different perspectives and different experiences working together to create a great product. And I think that same holds true when we're looking at how we help organizations in different sectors work together. And that, as I said, is one of the real roles of the community quarterback. Sometimes they are big items. They're big kind of financing, infrastructure items, and sometimes they're really small cultural issues about how one organization does business versus another. And if you're a community quarterback, you've got to be the glue and the grease between those organizations to help create that opportunity for them to work through those issues. And let me give you one quick example. Back in the early days of the Eastlake Project, there was a new charter school, Drew Charter School, which was brand new, first charter school in the city of Atlanta, physically connected to the YMCA, which was, just part of a wonderful, big metro-wide organization, just a great partner. But they had different approaches around one issue around risk management that was creating a cultural issue. The Y, which had been, as I said, around 100 years, had a very sophisticated risk management approach, and all their employees were trained that if you were going to hug a child, you gave a child a one-armed hug off to the side. And there were some very good reasons for that kind of training from the Y's perspective. On the other hand, Drew Charter School, which was brand new, which didn't have a big risk management group built into it, saw when a child needed a hug, that child got a full-arm, beautiful, warm hug. And so the employees at the Y would see those hugs being given and go, look at them, something nefarious is going on. And then the people at Drew would look at the Y and go, look at those miserly people at the YMCA. They don't care about those children. So we had to create a space to have that conversation about why the Y chose to hug kids one way and why Drew was hugging another, that there were reasons behind both of those decisions, and we had to create that opportunity for that conversation. Now, as things have moved on, there's a lot more commonality in the process and the procedures now, but those are the kinds of little things that can get in the way of effective collaborations on a very kind of people level. And so, if you're that community quarterback, you've got to be thinking about the big strategic things, but you've also got to be thinking about those small tactical things that can undermine all of your work.
That's a really great story. I think we're going to ask you to write that up. I want to have the hug issue. Who knew that could be a barrier?
One-armed hug issue.
I know. Yeah. I also like the glue and the grease. That's a great language about the role that you've played.